Although Erica Mena is renowned for her fearless demeanor and combative attitude, nobody could have foreseen the emotional upheaval that followed Yandy Smith's astounding accusations becoming viral online. For days, stories of treachery, ancient secrets, and startling admissions had been circulating, threatening to ruin reputations. But when Yandy allegedly hinted that Erica had once been a call girl, everything went viral. Fans are outraged. The internet is in disarray, and Erica isn't keeping quiet in a tearful live session that has gone viral. Everything and urging her followers to accept her version of events. But the drama continued as screenshots appeared. Anonymous insiders began to speak out, and even Mendices was thrust back into the spotlight. Is this a personal grudge from Yandy, or are there real reasons for the rumors? Why, at a time when Erica was ostensibly attempting to restore her reputation, social media was divided, and both ladies appeared prepared for war. Tonight, we will go out all of the tears, allegations, fallout, and you brace yourself for this story is just getting started. As allegations started to go viral on social media, supporters were left perplexed and split. Some believed Yandy was merely envious of Erica's increasing fame, while others maintained that Yandy had actual receipts that could permanently damage Erica's reputation. But nobody anticipated the events that transpired, particularly when Erica broke down in tears during an unexpected live stream. It all began with a mysterious post from Yandy's Fanina account in which she wrote, "Some of these." The internet exploded as fans immediately connected the connections and said, "Girls are acting elegant now, but I remember when they were paid to be pretty, and not just for appearances." A few hours later, a hazy screenshot that purportedly showed Yandy in a private chat discussing a particular lady who used to work nights in Miami for wealthy clients started to circulate, leading many to believe that the post was directed at Erica. Within minutes, followers were sharing side-by-side comparisons of Erica's previous images, bloggers were creating investigative movies, and TikTokers were creating investigative videos. The most striking of these was an earlier, infrequently seen picture that appeared, depicting Erica wearing a tight dress outside as someone added, "I always knew there was more to her story," while another said, "This is about to get out of control." The luxurious hotel was captioned by a gossip blog with just one word revealed, and people went crazy. Unsightly. At first, Erica tried to act as though the noise didn't bother her by remaining silent, but behind-the-scenes insiders said she was devastated. When the audio leak occurred, a voice note purportedly recorded at a party where Yandy was overheard calling someone a complete escort while posing as a mother began to circulate online. The team began frantically trying to undertake damage control by contacting blogs to have the posts removed. When Erica eventually went live that night, her face was swollen from crying, and her voice was wobbly. She peered into the camera for a long moment before saying, "I'm sure that's Yandy's voice," even though it wasn't very clear. Holding back her emotions, she continued, "I wasn't going to say anything, but you guys are really trying to ruin me like I haven't done enough to move on from the past." The conversation took off right away, and fans flooded in. "I'm not what they're saying I am, and the fact that it's coming from someone I once called a friend, that's the real betrayal," Erica added, while others offered support and others demanded answers. Comments like, "Wait, Yandy and Erica were friends. OMG, what happened between them?" were all over the place. Yandy really stated everything that the questions were raised online, and the drama had escalated from dubious posts to full-fledged conflict. The following morning, another bomb was dropped, and a gossip website published screenshots of what they claimed were private direct messages between Erica and several well-known Mendices. It was obvious that they intended followers to think there was a pattern. One message said, "Don't tell anyone, but I'll make it worth your time." Erica allegedly disputed everything, claiming that the screenshots were phony, but the damage had already been done because her name was trending for all the wrong reasons. The situation worsened when a grainy video from years ago that showed Erica and Mendices in the same room at a private after-party reappeared. There was no obvious interaction, but fans believed they were too at ease, so many started making deeper connections. This is why Yandy was upset. One tweet said, "What if this whole thing is because Erica and Mendices had something?" Everyone had something to say as the ideas got out of hand. Some said it was all about jealousy, while others believed Yandy was using it as a means of eventually overthrowing the most bizarre turn of events. Yet occurred when an anonymous source sent a letter to a prominent gossip blog claiming to have spotted Erica on the arm of a billionaire businessman at a high-end hotel in Atlanta back in 2018. The statement was ambiguous and no names were given. Supplied? But the blogger's article with the comment, "More people coming forward? Is this Erica's truth?" fueled the flames even further. Erica went live once more. She paused, choking back further tears, saying, "I've never sold myself. I've never sold myself. I've been quiet. I've tried to take the high road, but now people want to lie on me just to get clicks." This time she appeared calmer but clearly fatigued. "Done the things they're accusing me of, and Yandy, if you have anything to say it directly to me." People began picking sides, with some feeling sorry for Erica, and others thinking Yandy had been pushed too far and was gradually revealing the truth. And in the midst of it all, Mendices remained utterly silent. He didn't post, react, or appear in public, and that silence said volumes. Fans began to wonder why he wasn't standing up for Yandy, or, as if that weren't enough, another blogger revealed a new shocking revelation, a screenshot of what looked to be an old conversation between Yandy and someone in her inner circle in the messages that Yandy allegedly wrote, saying, "I should have fans went crazy when she revealed that girl years ago when she was becoming too close to my boyfriend, so she was talking about Erica the entire time." It was about Mendices. Not just the people went back and retrieved old reality show footage of Yandy and Erica after the story had officially progressed from rumors to profound personal betrayal. The awkward atmosphere, the forced smiles, the tension, all of it was there in one scene when Erica praised Mendices and Yandy's. Then came the story from a former VH1 intern who claimed that Yandy had been holding on to this knowledge for years, waiting for the ideal opportunity to strike. And this was it. Reported that years ago, during a break from filming, Yandy and Erica got into a heated argument off-camera. According to the intern, Mendices was the cause of the altercation. Yandy accused Erica of being overly amiable and informed producers that she no longer wanted to work with her. The post went viral almost away, shocking the internet. The animosity, the quiet tension, the subtle jabs on social media, everything now made sense. The post portrayed the argument as fierce, with both ladies being dragged apart before things became physical. Passed, but fans were not satisfied and demanded more information. They wanted to know if Yandy was finally taking revenge for something that had transpired years before, and if so, what exactly had happened. When it appeared that things couldn't get much more dramatic, someone suggested that Kirk might have been implicated as well. The mention of Kirk whipped fans into a frenzy, and up until this point, everyone's attention had been on Yandy Erica, and that there was a quiet tension about Mendices. But everything changed when rumors started to circulate that Kirk might have had a covert connection to Erica back when she was first starting out in the business. One gossip blog posted an ambiguous entry that read, "Remember when Kirk used to scout talent beyond the scene of clubs?" Although they didn't specifically name Erica, the suggestion was sufficient, so it appears that someone from that era is finally speaking. People thought the message was about her right away, and within hours, screenshots of old tweets from an account purportedly belonging to one of Kirk's former co-workers started making the rounds online. In the tweets, he mentioned a Latina beauty that Kirk attempted to manage but failed to do so successfully. As soon as several viewers noticed that the time frame eerily matched the time Erica was attempting to make her debut on reality TV, the entire plot changed. Was this not just about betrayal or envy, but something more profound and personal? Erica attempted to dismiss with the remark, "Y'all really out here writing fan fiction, but the damage was done, people started digging, and they didn't have to go far," she speculated on Instagram. An old VH1 that never aired a promo for Kirk Rashida and a bunch of young women at a casting event appeared online. A fuzzy backdrop image of someone who resembled Erica was included. The clip was taken down a few hours later, but by then it had already gone viral, which made matters worse. Was the reason behind Rashida's quiet. She didn't like or comment on any postings that were pertinent, and followers noted where she was. One fan said, "If this isn't real, why isn't she shutting it down?" Her silence just served to feed additional stories. Some even conjectured that Rashida had discovered the truth years prior, but had concealed it to safeguard her family's reputation. And people started to piece it together, thinking that this was all part of a huge reality TV conspiracy that was now coming to an end in real time. Yandy stayed composed and made no official statements or direct comments, only additional cryptic posts. In one now-deleted tweet, she said, "Some secrets are like landmines. One fan's lost everything after she took the wrong step." Is she referring to Kirk? Is she validating the rumors? And is this the reason she is now pursuing Erica? In an unexpected narrative twist, Bambi chose to intervene during a live Q&A session with fans when someone asked her whether she believed what was being said about Erica Bambi. The internet atmosphere was tumultuous, polarized, and louder than ever. "Look, I don't know all the details, but let's just say I'm not surprised things ain't what they seem on TV," he added, pausing to raise an eyebrow. All supporters needed to do was clip it. Bambi Speaks' evasive reply only made matters worse for Erica. If even she was implying that something fishy had occurred, who else may come out by now? Erica was already in a downward spiral. The moment was published everywhere, and within an hour, Bambi Speaks was trending across platforms. "I've never been managed by Kirk Frost, and I've never dealt with him. Everything you're seeing is fake edited or taken out of context. Stop playing with my name," she shouted angrily as she addressed the Kirk rumors live. "Kirk Frost, seriously, you guys are out of your damn minds." Even though she denied everything, some fans weren't persuaded, pointing out that she didn't state she didn't know Kirk, just that they hadn't interacted that little. Mendices ultimately broke his quiet, but not in the way that fans had anticipated. Rather than defending Yandy or dispelling the allegations, he posted a black screen with the words, "Sometimes silence says everything." The detail became a significant talking point in the comment sections. People lost it without any tags or subtitles. Was he attempting to maintain objectivity, or was he removing himself from the drama before it erupted? Other theories according. To one fan, Yandy finally gave her admirers what they'd been waiting for. "Maybe he knows it's true and doesn't want to get dragged," another fan said. "If he really had nothing to do with Erica, he would have said it by now." Pleading for when she was asked explicitly about the accusations and her post that appeared to be about Erica during a podcast appearance, and Yandy didn't mention Erica by name, but her remarks struck a chord. "All I'm saying is, you can't pretend to be." She remarked, "I'm not perfect, but I've been real from day one, and I've never had to lie about where I came from or who I was with. Then come for other people like your past doesn't exist." Fans erupted. It wasn't a confirmation, but it was close enough. Right after that interview dropped, a new player entered the chat. Carly read she went live and without naming names said she had seen things back in the day that would shock people, these females acting brand new like they weren't spending every other weekend at specific hotels, she added. The internet instantly thought she was referring to Erica because of the time, tone, and inference. Now Rashida was under pressure to say anything. People love to stir drama where there is none. "I know my truth, and that's all that matters. Peace and harmony," Rashida wrote in a post that fans deemed overly polished. But her answer only made matters worse. Blessings to everyone who was pursuing clout today. Fans sent harsh remarks, accusing her of avoiding the problem and shielding Kirk. One comment said, "Girl, blink twice if you knew." "So, no denial," remarked another. The tension was terrible, and just when it seemed like everything had been said, a startling turn of events shocked the Shortly. An anonymous user shared what seemed to be screenshots of a private exchange between Kirk and Erica. In the conversations, Kirk praised her appearance and recommended that they have a private meeting to talk about opportunities. Fans erupted when he responded with a wink emoji, and since it was uncertain whether the messages were genuine, people ran with them, creating memes, response videos, and breakdowns. Everything went viral at Instantly, and Erica quickly rejected the messages, claiming they were fraudulent. Fans weren't letting it go. Why are all these receipts coming out now? Why is everyone going silent when things get real? Who's lying? What started? She threatened legal action against the page that posted the manipulated images and swore she will find out what caused this smear campaign. Since Yandy's ambiguous message had now escalated into a full-fledged controversy that had involved almost half of the Love and Hip Hop ensemble, friendships were strained, reputations were called into question, and trust was destroyed. While one question kept coming up. What actually transpired between Erica Kirk and Yandy all those years ago? Someone suggested that Rashida had been harboring a secret of her own for that long. When people began to delve more into Rashida's silence, even more shockingly, a blog article from 10 years ago that had been hidden in internet archives unexpectedly came to light. It described suspicions that Kirk had unofficial mentorships, with women attempting to break into the entertainment industry, women he allegedly met on promotional trips. One of the women named in the anonymous tip was a young, aspiring model who looked a lot like Erica Mena. The post was initially written off as mere gossip, but after it was resurfaced, fans took a closer look and everything became clear. Even Rashida's most devoted fans began to doubt her. Some left comments under her most recent post that read, "So you knew all along?" Additionally, "You've been sheltering Kirk for years, sis." When the criticism got too much, Rashida's staff promptly provided a hazy explanation, saying the blog was an untrustworthy source from a dubious period of web reporting. But it was too late. Had already gone viral, and everyone was curious about what secret Rashida was keeping. Then, one of Kirk's former promotional crew members shared a grainy, low-resolution video from back in the day that showed Kirk in a hotel lounge with a few young women. The audio was hardly audible, but a voice could be heard. Voice sounded uncannily like Kirk's was heard stating, "She has a potential man. She just needs the right encouragement." One of the girls seated beside him looked a lot like Erica. Regardless of whether it was her or not, the story had already taken on a life of its own. When fans wanted answers, Erica couldn't stand it any longer and went live in the middle of the night, her voice shaking and her eyes swollen. "You want the truth?" "Well, I did meet Kirk years ago, but it wasn't what you guys think. I was desperate and broke, and he said he could help. That's all. We never dated or crossed that line, and he ghosted me," she stated. Me following a single meeting, and the comments went viral. Some fans expressed sympathy, while others criticized her. One person wrote, "If it was nothing, why lie about it for so long?" But the biggest surprise was yet to come. Yandy returned to the scene with greater strength than before, going live with her buddy Guju and talking candidly about the pandemonium. "Look, I never meant to expose nobody," she stated. "But when people hurl rocks at me, I got Guju attempted to reassure her. But Yandy wasn't finished, and suggested that she had messages that would make a difference. There's no choice but to show them where they live." Within a day after followers pleaded for her to remove the receipts from the entire chat, Yandy did so in a since-deleted story. The sender's name was obscured, but based on the responses and style, "Yo, that chick? From that Club Mina or whatever, she down for anything, if the price right." Yandy didn't include any background information or specify when the message was sent, which led one to believe it was from Kirk. Message was from, but the suggestion was so explosive that Erica broke down again and went live, crying, "I can't take this anymore. Yandy, you're out here destroying lives for clout." That message might be a fake, but you find it amusing. A mother's followers attempted to unite around her, but the internet was already going in a million different directions. Memes were flooding timelines, and people were picking sides: Team Rashida, Team Yandy, and Team Erica, and nobody knew what was real anymore, which is precisely what made it. In the middle of all this craziness, Kirk finally took action. He uploaded a video of himself sitting next to Rashida in their house, his face tight and his voice low. "You guys need to relax with this online drama," he said. "Things can be twisted, but my wife and I witnessed it." Rashida nodded. But admirers saw that her smile stopped short of her eyes, so they dubbed it damage control, damage control. One user wrote, "He knows something else about to drop," in a panic. They were correct. A former VH1 producer acknowledged within days that he had worked on a lot of storylines got scrapped before airing a lot of hookups behind the scenes. Mess, especially in the Atlanta cast, there was always this rumor that Kirk had a thing for one of the new characters. The producer, who was using a voice filter to conceal her identity, said in a podcast about the early seasons of Love and hip-hop girls, and it created tension behind the camera. The producer remained silent for a moment before responding, "I won't mention names," when asked if the girl was Erica. Fan speculation that Rashida knew everything all along and had struck a backdoor deal with the network to keep things quiet in the crisis was sparked by that interview. The internet began referring to it as the Frost cover-up, in exchange for long-term preservation of her and Kirk's image, and hashtags like Throstgate and Our Rashida started trending. What had begun as Yandy disparaging Erica had now descended into a full-fledged conspiracy, including other cast members began to distance themselves from the producers after they released unaired footage and allegedly threatened to blackmail them. Spice wrote, "Sometimes silence is self-care. Truth always comes out even if you bury it," Carly said on social media. The atmosphere on set was reportedly heated, with filming purportedly pausing for producers reportedly struggled for days to decide what footage to use and what to edit as tensions rose and alliances changed, especially now that fans were gathering so much information on their own. Then, in the most heartbreaking moment yet, Rashida went live by herself without Kirk's voice. "I've supported my man through everything, and I've forgiven more than you all know. But this is different," she said, pausing as she spoke and staring straight into the camera because it's about women now. Not just Kirk or me. Fans were shocked when she finally confirmed anything. Was she crying due of Kirk's actions or something else? Being dragged through the dirt about friendships being ruined and the truth being played with like it's a joke, and I'm done pretending. It doesn't hurt. She didn't elaborate at all, but her emotions spoke louder than words could, and suddenly the whole story turned upside down. People were now questioning not only Erica but Kirk's legacy as a whole, as well as whether Rashida had been defending him the entire time out of loyalty or fear. In the meantime, Yandy sent another cryptic message that made it plain that the web of treachery was there. "Truth hurts, but falsehoods hurt more when they come apart." She did not tag anyone. Rumors continued to circulate that Mendices had fled town to avoid getting pulled further into the issue, and that VH1 was thinking about severing relations because the secrets and hazy realities had grown too complicated for anyone to handle. Depending on how the aftermath unfolded, there were several cast members. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get much messier, a voice note was leaked, in which a woman who is thought to be Erica is heard sobbing and saying, "I should have never trusted him, he said he'd protect me. And now look, they're all after me." After the recording went viral, admirers started analyzing every second to compare it to Erica's voice from earlier interviews, but she didn't corroborate. She was depicted as both the victim and the villain in a story that was getting out of hand by the minute, And as night fell on what had already been one of the most crazy weeks in hip-hop and love history, her silence spoke loudly enough. The only question that remained was, what happens? When the truth is not only complicated, but dangerous? Fans were in a frenzy, unsure of what to believe, by the time the leaked voice note had been played and repeated on all the main gossip blogs. But one thing was certain: this was war, not simply small-scale drama. In war, everyone chooses sides, but nobody wins. The morning following the audio leak, Erica finally spoke up. This time, she didn't go live, instead posting a black and white photo with the comments went crazy, with some praising her for keeping her head up and others dragging her, saying things like, "Girl, just admit it already." The caption read, "Every lie eventually eats itself." Then, according to sources, Erica was threatening legal action against VH1 itself, not against Kirk or Yandy, because she thought the network had pushed Yandy to remove such remarks in order to increase viewership. Erica, who had maintained her composure in previous seasons, was now requesting raw video from past programs and behind-the-scenes recordings, claiming that production sources had confirmed furious clashes in private meetings. She was prepared to reveal anything, proof that everything was staged to make her appear to have been the catalyst all along, one insider added. But to be honest, I don't blame her. As this legal aspect developed, fans began to worry that Kirk had done something worse than anyone had anticipated, or that Rashida was simply fed up with fighting a battle she could no longer control when she abruptly vanished from social media with no posts or lives, noticed her leaving a therapist's office with puffy eyes and a clearly upset face. The picture went viral right away, and many began to speculate that she was seeing a therapy to deal with Kirk's betrayal or to get ready for an official separation. Meanwhile, Kirk chose to come out as Kirk rather than staying hidden, adopted a different tack, and shared an old video of him and Rashida laughing and happy while on vacation, with the remark, "Only God can judge. They don't know our journey. Man trying to gaslight the internet," one user said, "is trying to divert us with old vibes. We want answers, not throwbacks." Fans saw right through it, but Kirk didn't stop there. He intensified his efforts. "Not one to be quiet," she responded, with a story of her own, asserting in a short story that people should quit allowing past drama to destroy genuine connections. It was a direct swipe at Yandy and possibly even Erica Yandy. He attempted to play both sides when she posted a picture of a journal entry from years ago, but only a few sentences were readable. One thing told her another, and now the truth is leaking out of every corner. Fans thought she was referring to Kirk once more, and if that was the case, as the tension increased, an anonymous email was published to multiple websites by someone, claiming to be an ex-assistant of a well-known Atlanta couple, confirming what everyone had feared, that this affair was more than just a rumor, but an emotional entanglement enmeshed in years of falsehoods. And they showed screenshots of purported direct communications between Kirk and an anonymous lady. The chats were flirty, and the timestamps showed that they were sent just a few months prior to Rashida's tearful live performance. One of the messages said, "You know she doesn't respect what I bring to the table, you." The hashtag, #ForProtectRashida, began rising among fans, including those who formerly supported her, and although it was different if true, it was damning if phony, it was still destructive enough to drive the internet over the brink. People who had doubted her were now supporting her. Some even conjectured that she was going to file for divorce and make a quiet exit from the franchise, while others said she was negotiating a solo spin-off to give her version of the tale in its unadulterated and unvarnished form. One thing was for sure, though. Mendices, who had been unusually quiet during all of this, suddenly posted a blurry picture of his backyard with the camera. Her quietness was no longer perceived as weakness, but rather as strategy. You don't have to respond to every shot, just make sure your aim is right when it's your turn. Fans immediately interpreted this as a subliminal directed at Yandy. Was he warning her, or was he embarrassed by her public outbursts? The tension between Kirk and Yandy had become unavoidable, but no one could be certain that reprisal was imminent. Then, in a shocking turn of events, VH1 released a teaser for the forthcoming season, and in the 30-second film, we see Rashida. Rashida appears to be holding back her tears as she sits at a seat across from Yandy. "I told the truth because someone had to, and I ain't sorry," adds Yandy. Fans went crazy after Rashida slammed down her drink and stood up, and one person said, "I didn't think this drama could get any deeper." The teaser also showed Kirk and Erica in the same room, both of them turning away from Rashida's voiceover. States, "Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers," as they avoid making eye contact with one another. Just reading that paragraph chilled everyone on the internet. Counting down the days until the new season premiered, not for the romance or the laughs, but for the wreckage off camera. According to more information that has surfaced, producers had to step in during a cast dinner because Erica allegedly threw a glass at someone, leading many to believe it was Yandy even though there was no video of the incident. The matter reached a boiling point when Yandy tweeted yet another cryptic message saying, "Edit what you want, the truth is still recorded." Insiders said the network was considering whether to run it at all or cut it to avoid legal repercussions. When a message purporting to be from Rashida's cousin appeared on an Instagram account devoted to love and hip-hop drama, the cousin stated that Rashida had already consulted with a divorce lawyer and was getting ready to move out. The same post also claimed that Kirk was attempting to stop her by offering to take a lie detector test and attend counseling. Neither Rashida nor Kirk made any public comments, but fans took it as gospel. Suddenly, though, Rashida returned to social media. But she didn't go live. Instead of posting quotes or crying, she shared a picture of herself looking stunning in a striking red costume with the phrase, "Reborn." Even the internet was disrupted. Candy Burrs shared a comment from a celebrity saying, "Yes, Queen." "Tell them," Trina wrote. Fans saw it as a power maneuver at the start of her post-Kirk era, and she completely changed the course of events with that one statement. What began as Yandy attempting to make sure Erica was okay had now escalated into one of the most dramatic private and public breakdowns in the history of the Love and Hip Hop series, had witnessed friendships fall apart, secrets come to light, and what had been said behind the scenes now roared across timelines. But in spite of everything, people still live their lives, cry, and receive their money. If there's one thing fans now know for sure, it's that in the world of hip-hop and love, the truth never stays buried for long, and suddenly, the walls have come crashing down. The question of what Kirk said to Yandy in those deleted messages, and what else is in that vault of unseen footage remains unanswered. What began as a simple accusation from Yandy has turned into a full-fledged media storm, including betrayal, silence receipts, and emotional breakdowns down around some of the most talked-about personalities in reality TV. Fans are still figuring out what is real, what is fabricated, and what has been kept out of the public eye. But one thing is certain. This drama has altered everything. Relationships are tense, reputations are on the line, and trust has been totally destroyed. Will Rashida eventually leave Kirk for good? Erica is prepared to file a lawsuit and reveal the entire system causing the mayhem. Has Yandy gone too far, or is she simply fed up with silence? What part do Mendices actually play behind the scenes? We've witnessed alliances change, friendships split apart, and the internet crumble. Down in real time, but it seems like we're just beginning to explore. We now want to know what side you believe you are on in all of this. Should Rashida forgive Kirk, or is it time for her to make her own decision? Was Yandy courageous to speak up, or did she go too far? What do you think of Erica? Do you think she is speaking the truth about her tears, or do you think she is hiding something else? This discussion is far from ended, so please share your ideas in the comments section below. Also, remember to like this video. If you're as surprised as we are, so please click the subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss anything. You won't want to miss the next amazing update, since in this world of celebrity secrets and scandal, whether they're prepared or not, the truth always manages to surface.